name is Claire Pearson. I run Real Ass Women Fitness. Today we are going to talk about the 10 foods that you can start eating for fast weight loss. And by fast, I mean we have executed this particular food list. Last year we ran a free 5-day detox challenge program. We had over 15,000 women through that program last year in 2020. And I mean, we saw to 8 pounds dropped in 5 days following this food list. So I'm going to talk you through what those foods are. Again, I was in yoga this morning, and I love yoga, and there's always a great message. And the message today was about self-love and about you feeling like you are enough. And I just don't think that, especially as moms, that we ever really give ourselves that kind of credit and that kind of nourishment. And we don't hear a lot of people saying that to us. And sometimes we don't believe it, that we are enough, that we're good enough just as we are right now. And so I want to let you guys know that weight loss and getting fit should never be approached as I'm not good enough right now, and so I need to get smaller and I need to look different in order to be enough, in order to love myself, in order to be happy. That is bullshit. It's what I call being pushed into losing weight. And if you are pushed, it doesn't feel very good, and therefore those kinds of actions are not maintainable for very long, you guys. So if we're looking for consistent action over the long haul to lose weight and never gain it back again, you want to be pulled into weight loss and fitness and the correct actions. And the way that you get pulled is by developing that self-worth and that self-love and the happiness within yourself and within your own life, so that eating right and moving your body becomes something that feels good and becomes easy to do. You do it because you love yourself, not because you fucking hate yourself. So I just want to let you guys know that and have you hear that, like, you are enough. And you are loved, and you are valuable, and you are needed exactly as you are. And that does not mean that we don't execute work to get to the next level and have goals. It means we have those goals and we want to put in the work because we love ourselves and we want our best life for ourselves. We want to feel good. We want to have confidence. We want to have energy. We want to take on the world, right? Okay, so that's all a pull, not a push. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. That's my weight loss philosophy. That's how all of my programming is run. Because if you're doing it the other way around, what you are going to find is that you start and stop and start and stop forever, right? Because it doesn't feel good and you don't feel good about yourself doing it. Okay, so please understand that. So these 10 foods, okay, first of all, if you have this 10 foods cheat sheet, you will see it's more than 10 foods. It really is. But I couldn't say the 39 foods that you need to eat to lose weight because that feels really overwhelming. So what I want to let you know is that it's not simply specific foods. What it is, and what I've seen, I work predominantly with women in their very late 30s into lots of women in their 40s, lots of women in their early 50s. That's kind of my sweet spot of who I help. And for all of us, myself included, I'm almost 40, hormones become an issue, right? It's not necessarily that weight loss is more difficult than it used to be. It's that the same strategies don't work now because we have differing, changing hormones that need to be addressed. It's not any longer a function of calories in versus calories out once your hormones start to change, okay? So what we know is that there is a significant correlation between gut health, the microbiome of your intestinal system, and the ability to easily and effectively lose weight. Okay, so if you have been eating a lot of processed food for a long time, if you've even been eating foods for a long time, if you have done lots of high sugar, high refined things, if you're drinking soda, if you have a lot of stress, if you've taken antibiotics, all of these things kind of really destroy the balance of good to bad bacteria in your gut. Once this happens, what you experience is more abdominal bloating, more abdominal fat. So this could apply to some of you who kind of look fit everywhere else, but you still have the belly. Okay, that's part of what's going on is a poor balance in your gut microbiome, brain fog, kind of feeling spaced out, that like wicked energy drop that we get at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, irritability, thinning hair, thinning nails, gastrointestinal issues, whether that's too much gas or hard time going to the bathroom. All of these things are correlated with an improper balance in your gut bacteria. They can be, okay? Older, this balance of your gut bacteria becomes even more impactful on the hormone systems that you need to have balanced and healthy and happy in order to keep on losing weight. Okay, so one thing that we can do in order to create a much healthier, happier gut bacteria is get on a low FODMAP, FODMAP, low FODMAP kind of meal plan. Okay, now I want to backtrack and say, if you've watched any of my coaching, you know that I am a huge proponent of you cannot follow a meal plan for your entire life. Okay? If you think that you're going to find the exact nutrition plan that's going to get you to the holy grail of fitness and you're going to love it forever, that's not true. Underneath all of that is you need to shift your internal behaviors to become the kind of person who wants to eat a certain way, who naturally eats a certain way, who gravitates towards it because the habits and the identity have shifted so deeply. So while a low FODMAP meal plan is very, very effective, and that's what we're going to talk about today in our live, it is not a forever solution. The forever solution is to change the internal things that have gone wrong, that have gotten you overweight and created this person who has a hard time with stress, circumstances getting in the way, or consistency, those kinds of things. Those are habits, those are behaviors, those are attached to your identity and who you currently are. And that takes internal exercise versus exercise in the gym. Okay? So I just want to make that very, very clear that a meal plan on its own, not going to save you. Okay? We got to make you the kind of person who wants to follow the plan, who gravitates towards the right things. But like I said, last year we had over 15,000 women do this free 5-day detox that we used to run. And we saw amazing results putting women on this low FODMAP meal plan. So let's talk about what FODMAP is, okay? It stands for, it's really long, it is fermentable oligodimonosaccharides. Okay, you don't need to know that, but essentially, that's this really fancy scientific term that's used to classify a group of foods that are very well known for triggering digestive symptoms, bloating, and all of those other symptoms that I talked to you about. Okay, if you have that improper balance in your gut microbiome, you start to hold on to specifically abdominal fat. Okay, so FODMAPs are found in a very wide array of food. If you have the 10 foods cheat sheet list that I'm going to drop here of this live as well, you will see it is actually way more than 10 foods. I'm going to tell you my top favorite 10 because these ones are my favorite because they're just easy to cook. They're simple. You can find them at any grocery store. And then I'm going to talk to you about, more importantly, what you're not eating when you follow this kind of plan. Okay, so anyone watching who has done the free 5-day detox, pop into the comments and let me know that you did the detox. In the detox, you just had a food list. If you have purchased our reset program, then you've taken that food list a step further with complete meal planning and recipes that go along with a FODMAP diet. Okay, so let me know if you have the reset or if you have done a 5-day detox challenge with me in the past, just so I know where we're at with that. Okay, so what you guys have and what you'll have here is a list of a whole bunch of foods. You can eat anything on that list in any combination. And like I said, more importantly is what's not on the list. We'll talk about that in a second. So my favorite low FODMAP foods that are going to balance out your gut bacteria, give you more energy, decrease bloating, improve your energy levels a lot, improve your mood a lot, and decrease inflammation in your body so you can start losing body fat. Okay? balance out your gut microbiome so your body has balanced hormones to start releasing that body fat. Let's go. Carbs. You need carbs, you guys. Yes, they are on the list. You need them. If anybody on here is on a low carb diet or a low fat diet or just a low calorie diet in general, you need to message me. We need to have a conversation. None of those things are safe. They're not effective. They're not sustainable. Means any weight you lose is coming back. Okay? So, carbs. Jasmine rice, sweet potato, and quinoa are my favorites that are low FODMAP foods and are found in our 5-day detox challenge and on the reset meal plan that we have. Okay. So, jasmine rice specifically, let's talk about that because a lot of people hear brown rice is good for losing weight, right? Brown rice is like the healthy holy grail of rice. However, when we're looking at gut microbiome and a gut-friendly food, what we know is that it takes your digestive system significantly more energy to break down brown rice versus to break down to get the energy from jasmine rice. Okay, jasmine is a version of white rice. The reason we're not using just plain white rice is that jasmine rice has more nutrients still in it than typically what we find in a white rice product. Okay, so jasmine rice, sweet potato, and quinoa are my favorite top 3 carbohydrates. Let's talk about salmon real quick because some of you probably are afraid of fat and you're like, ooh, salmon's like a high fat fish. Why are we eating that? Your body absolutely needs omega-369. That is what is found in fish, specifically in salmon. So we're talking essential fatty acids, guys. And if you have an appropriate level of essential fatty acids inside of your body will actually begin to release fat more effectively. Look it up. It's a thing. Okay. So the right kinds of fats are good for losing fat. Please don't be afraid of this. Okay. Vegetables, zucchini, spinach, love me a spinach salad, and winter squash. And I think this is an interesting one because this is, again, something that a lot of people stray away from. Winter squash would be like a butternut squash, an acorn squash, because they're high carb and they're actually high sugar. All of those carbohydrates are sugar carbohydrates. So we stay away from them? No. They're very, very good for your body, very good for your digestive system, and provide satiation. That's like feeling full, feeling satisfied, and they provide you fuel. And you need fuel if you're going to be a healthy, happy, energetic mama and not tanking halfway through your day and yelling at your kids, right? And then last one on there, is it a fruit? Is it a vegetable? I don't know. It's avocado. It's a bird. It's a plane. So again, avocado because of healthy fat. And I can't say enough about healthy fat. I could do a whole live training on the benefits of having healthy fat in your diet. Okay, so that's a really good broad array of foods that gives you efficient levels of carbohydrates, efficient levels of fat, some good veggies, some good healthy proteins. But again, if you look at this meal plan or this food list that I'm going to post, I mean, there's like 30 something options. So I just couldn't say that because that sounds overwhelming. So this is 10 foods to eat fast. Eat these 10. And when I say fast, I mean literally 5 days. I have seen huge changes in women 5 days eating these things. But that means you can't eat this whole other group of food, okay? And there's a couple things on here that you might be surprised by. I know I was when I started researching and learning much more about the appropriate ways to balance hormones to lose weight. Okay? One of the things I was most surprised about that you may or may not be surprised about is dairy. So there were a lot of years as a personal trainer and a nutritionist that I gave my clients meal plans that had Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, whey protein powder, string cheese, and some clients I still do. Okay, it's not one size fits all. Every single client I work with in Transformation Academy has a different version of meal plan that works for their body. So some women can do that. But what we've seen for women who are struggling to lose weight, for women who can say, I'm doing all the right things, I swear I am, and it's not working, okay? then taking out dairy can be a huge kick in the pants to make things work. And here's why. Dairy can be very inflammatory. So when we have a lot of inflammation in the body, another way to say that is we have unbalanced gut microbiome, and that gut microbiome is creating more inflammation through the body. When we have more inflammation, we have higher cortisol levels. You've probably heard lots about cortisol. I do a lot of trainings about de-stressing to bring down your cortisol levels, okay? But what I will say here is that high cortisol levels mean your body is not losing body fat effectively. With high cortisol levels, we see low levels of human growth hormone. It's one of the main hormones we need balanced and happy in order to lose body fat. Okay, so when we have high inflammation, we have high cortisol, then we have low HGH, and a whole other whack of crazy hormone situations. So we want to do everything we can to minimize inflammation in the body, and for a lot of you, you're going to see a difference when you take dairy out, okay? Second thing that we want to be taking out, if you're going to eat all of these correct foods, make sure you take these ones out, is gluten, for the exact same reason. For a lot of people, gluten is an inflammatory food. Now, I'm not talking like celiac level where you have like, oh my God, you're going to die if you eat gluten. But I am talking optimal hormone balance for those of us who are approaching 40 or in our 40s, and we are noticing hormone changes. We want every advantage we can get, right? I do. So that means for many of us, gluten is creating more inflammation in the body and is creating an unhappy, unbalanced gut microbiome, which leads you to all those yucky feelings we talked about, no energy and bloating and abdominal puffiness and fat around your abdominal cavity. Okay? So take out the gluten. This should go without saying. This one is not a surprise, but I'm going to say it anyway. Processed food, refined foods, sugars. Guys, you can't do white flour and white pasta and white bread and shit that's coming out of boxes when you're over the age of 40 and expect your hormones to be happy. All of that processing, all of that refining most likely means those products are high sugar, which is very disruptive to your hormones and your gut microbiome. It also probably means those products are low nutrient value, which is also not a good thing for balancing your hormones. Okay, so that stuff just has to go. And I know it's a process. I know that cravings are real and it's difficult. There's a lot of biology behind that. It's not your fault. Your brain is doing that to you. We talk about that every single day here in our group and on my trainings. And we approach that a lot inside of the Transformation Academy program that I run. So there's biology behind cravings, and then there's mental strategies that need to shift so those cravings don't matter to you anymore. Okay? But you gotta do the work to get the processed and the refined things out of your life if you want balanced hormones and a happy gut microbiome. Okay? Next one, nightshades. So you probably heard this if you've heard anything about elimination kinds of meal plans. Nightshades can also be very inflammatory for lots of people. So nightshades would be tomatoes, peppers, like green peppers, red peppers, onions, and white potatoes. Those are the big ones. I think eggplant might be a nightshade too. Yeah. So what I recommend here, y'all, is that you take out all of what I just said. You put in my top 10 favorites, or go through the food list that I'm going to post here in the comments. Pick a different set of favorites. If you don't like my top 10, there's plenty of options on there. Eat that way for, give yourself a week to 2 weeks, just eating these things that are really low inflammation, that are FODMAP low foods that are going to balance out your hormones and create better gut microbiome. Then, after you've done that, you can add back in one inflammatory group at a time if you want to. Okay? Now, if you're seeing really good results and this is working for you, you might not want to add all of that stuff back in right away, Like clearly something has shifted. Your body is happier without these very inflammatory things and with better gut microbiome. So if you're going to add things back in, I would do nightshades first because they are probably the least inflammatory and the least gut disruptive of the things we're taking out. And I would give yourself like a week to be eating potatoes again. And notice, you got to pay attention to your body, notice what's happening. Okay? After that week, still losing weight, still feeling good, don't have the brain fog, don't have the bloating. Cool, check. Add the next thing back in. Okay? For some of you, dairy and gluten really might just be off the table. For others of you, maybe in really small quantities it feels okay. In large quantities, you notice yourself sliding backwards again. You got to kind of play with it and find the sweet spot of what works for you. Okay? Please keep in mind that there is no nutrition program on the planet that works if you don't do it. And so obviously the bigger chore, the bigger hurdle in getting fit is figuring out, well, I know the right thing to do. Why am I not doing it? And that, my friends, is the internal strategies that you need to put into play. This meal plan we're talking about is an external strategy. So you really need both if you want to become the kind of woman who has consistency over the long haul, who enjoys working out, who enjoys eating the right foods, who says nice things to herself, believes that anything is possible in her life, has a super positive attitude, is really energetic, and just like takes over the day, right? If you want to be that, there are internal strategies that need to shift, just like you got to make some changes in how you move your body and how you eat. Please understand that. I'm not saying do this and you'll magically be totally different. But I am saying if you eat these foods and you don't eat those other ones, I promise you, you're going to feel very different very, very quickly. Okay, one final thought about hormones, okay? Yes, you can drastically shift the way that your hormones perform by what you eat and by moving your body. That's totally a thing, okay? That's what this food list is. That's what we're talking about. I need you to understand how much your hormones are affected by how you feel. Okay? How you feel is a product of what you think. So if you feel anxious, depressed, sad, irritable, frustrated, angry, hopeless, stressed out, overwhelmed, negative, like all of that, those feelings, the reason you feel them is because your body secretes certain chemical concoctions to create those feelings. Like if you're really stressed out and scared, you're moving really fast, your heart's beating faster, maybe your palms are sweating a little, your pupils are dilated, you're talking fast, you're the blah, 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 blah. That is because of a specific hormone response in your body. Now, when you shift how you feel happier, you feel more relaxed, you feel more confident in your daily life, you feel like you can take on things, you feel less affected by stuff coming your way. You have a different chemical concoction. Guess which chemical concoction makes it really hard to lose weight? It's that negative one, okay? It's cortisol, it's adrenaline, it's norepinephrine. It is chemicals secreted in your body when you feel certain ways that then change the hormone balance inside of your body, disrupting perfect homeostasis and making it more difficult to lose weight. So not only do you need to change your food and your exercise, you have to work to shift the way you react to stress, the way you react to negative situations or anxiety or feelings of sadness. You have to shift the thoughts in your head on a daily basis. What you think is what you feel. What you feel is what you put out into the world. It is what you execute. And then you get more of that, right? If you feel shitty, you are not doing very much out there in the world and you're not getting very much back because of it. Okay? So it's very, very important to work to learn the strategies to shift the internal state. I can't even say it enough. I'm not a fan of low carb, and let me tell you why. Because you're gonna lose weight if you go really low carb. Of course you will. Just like if you go really low calorie and you're not eating very much, most likely weight's going to come off. My concern, my biggest goal in life is to make weight loss permanent for all of you. Nobody wants to do this again, right? Can we just say that? Like, it's not easy to lose weight. It's not. It's not. Anyone who's telling you it's really easy is fucking lying to you. It's not. Like, you don't just blink and have it be done, right? So why would we want to do it twice? We don't. Nobody wants to repeat this. So if we only want to do it one time and have it stick, I suggest doing something that is sustainable, that feels good, that gives you energy, that you look forward to, and that comes partially from shifting your internal state, changing your identity, but it also comes from having an intelligent, logical, sustainable plan. And so low carb is like, cool, what do I do when I'm done with that? Because shit, I just want some carbs, you know? The other thing about low carb that's difficult is, if your goals are muscle definition, right? We don't just want to be skinny fat. We don't want to be a smaller version of our current puffy self. We want definition. We want tone. We want to look fit. That's hard to do with really, really low carbs because your body doesn't have the fuel that it needs to get through a workout, right? You're going to put in what you think is 100% effort. It's going to feel really taxing because you don't have a lot of fuel, but your actual output would not be nearly the 100% you could do if you had the right kind of fuel. Number one tip is like what I said here, that weight loss becomes less a function of calories in versus calories out, meaning just, eat less food and move your body more, and more a function of really happy hormones, okay? So other things that need to be in balance to have good hormones. Kind of like when I'm working with a client in the Transformation Academy, we sort of start with clean eating because that's the easiest way to lose weight. Just eat healthy foods. If that doesn't work, then we kind of go up a level at a time of, I would say, making the meal plan more complicated. The more complicated it is, the more overwhelm there is. So I don't suggest going to the next level of complication unless you need to. But Janine's something like this, a low FODMAP meal plan. So like a meal plan in the Reset, that kind of plan is really great for balancing hormones. Other things you want to look at, like I said, is stress, emotional issues that totally throws hormones out of whack. Other things that throw hormones out of whack, though, guys, high toxic load on your body, okay? So what this means is, toxins in our water, toxins in our food, toxins in the air, toxins at this desk I'm sitting in because it was made at IKEA and is made of whatever IKEA makes, like that weird particle board shit, and it expels toxins all day long. There are toxins all around you. Your liver has to process those toxins. Your liver is also the main fat processing organ, okay? So your liver actually processes fat, and then you lose fat. So if your liver has a very high toxic load to it, and it's really struggling to just deal with that, it makes it much more difficult to lose body fat. Now, this is different for everybody. Some people are very sensitive, and when they kind of clean up their toxins around them, start eating more organic food so they're not having as many pesticides, get a water filtration systems, they're not drinking all the crap that's in our water these days, they really do see some better hormone balance. Other people don't really see that, and they kind of need to dig even further. But high toxic load, for sure. If you're drinking, I drink occasionally, but I don't drink very much, not because of the calories, but actually because of how hard it is on your liver. And I know that my liver needs to be as strong as possible to lose body fat. Other ways you can get optimal hormone balance in older age is some intermittent fasting, time-restricted feeding schedules that can absolutely help. And it really depends on what the hormone issue is at that age. And that's why it's important to work with a coach on a one-on-one basis, because there is no meal plan that just across the board works for everybody. Anybody who is stressed out. what is the best way to say this? The stress never goes away, right? I've been doing this for a decade. I've worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of women. Nobody has no stress. Nobody has nothing emotional going on, nothing worrisome, nothing overwhelming, and their life is just totally peachy. Okay? So what do you really have to do then? You have to learn the strategies to not react to all of that that's coming in, to not internalize it, to know how you want to feel, why it is you want to feel those ways, what you want out of your life, what's going to help you get there, and then, the strategies to process stress better, which is to take time for yourself, to have more balance, to meditate, breathing exercises, timeouts. Timeouts work for toddlers and for mamas and for women in their 40s and 50s who just need to stop for a minute. Okay? When you stop, you take 4-count breath in, 4-count breath hold, 4-count breath out, 4-count breath hold. You do that for a minute. You can do it at a red light. What you're doing inside of your body is decreasing the cortisol load, decreasing the adrenaline, that fight or flight response, increasing dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, not oxycontin, that's bad, oxytocin, the happy hormones, okay? You're calming your nervous system down. You're creating more of a rest and digest space for yourself inside of your body, which is a more effective place for your body to lose body fat. When women are coming to me and they are doing all the right things, what they say are all the right things, and it's not working, we look at hormone health, then we look at what's your stress like and what's your sleep like, because those things are so paramount to having balance in your body to lose weight effectively. Okay? So when you're really stressed, you need to start learning the strategies to control your emotional state and how you want to feel, regardless of what is happening around you. Because if you can only lose weight and do the right things, like in a vacuum of everything being perfect in the rest of your life, or you get thrown off because you're stressed out and you're overwhelmed and you're busy and circumstances are crazy, are you going to yo-yo for your whole life? Yes, because circumstances can get really crazy, can't they? Right? So you have to learn to not react to any of that. And then you need to learn the ways to de-stress, to chill out your system, your nervous system, which is correlated to your hormones. Okay? Everyone has so much stress, and especially these days with COVID and handling it. It doesn't mean making the stress go away. It really doesn't. It is always going to be there. I'm a single mom. I run a business. I had to close my gym. I thought maybe I was going to go bankrupt. I had to sue my business partner at one point. My ex-husband was in rehab. I've been through so much stress. The only reason I don't fly off the deep end is because it doesn't faze me. I know the things I need to do to not react to that stress. I know how to visualize. I know how to create positive affirmations. I know what I want in my life. I know how I want to feel in my life. I know what I'm creating. I am inspired by it. I believe everything that I want is totally possible, and I meditate on that shit every single day. And when shit comes at me that is really, really stressful, I let it go. I don't internalize it. If I feel like crying and things are really going wrong on my day, I let myself fall apart. And I go, man, I'm really not feeling good today. I don't need to fucking be Superwoman, and neither do you. You can fall apart, you can be upset, and then you can go, how do I want to feel right now? I really don't want to feel like this. I'd like to feel confident and happy and energetic and joyful. And what's something I could do right now that's going to make me move in that direction of feeling? What's something I could think about right now that's going to give me those feelings? You think about puppies and rainbows and unicorns and sparkles. You think about snuggling your kiddos when they were little. you instantly have a different set of hormones pumping out of your brain into your body. And you instantly feel different, right? If we all stop and think about our little kiddos right now and snuggling them, and you really let yourself go there with your eyes closed, and you imagine you're there, and you imagine what it feels like and what they smelled like and how cute their little voices sound, you can instantly shift your stressed out, insane, reactive state, which changes your hormones, which changes your ability to lose body fat. It's pretty fascinating stuff, you guys. I said I was going to keep this short. It ended up being 40 minutes. I really hope that was helpful.